What a month for music August has become. So many big names and big albums being released. And what do we have here? Why, it's the warm-up album before Deftones release their new record. Hi people and hello my Chili and Carnage crew, it's Chili here, the man who designed for my eyes doing a 5-minute review on Chevelle's newest album, Bright as Blasphemy. Well, that should piss off the entire Chevelle fanbase, and we haven't even started the video yet, but please watch on. I do of course jest, so let's just address the white elephant in the room. I want to make it abundantly clear that I have never really been a big fan of Chevelle, despite having them recommended to me multiple times. They got some really cool songs, I'll admit, but they just never won me over with any of their albums. So, will this album change my opinions on the band or not? Spoiler alert, it's a bit of both. This album marks the band's 10th release and was described by the drummer Sam as a torturous affair. Pete had this to say about the album's title: "A big part of a writer's job is to come up with some cool sounding shit, which is really hard to do, especially because so much has been taken." Chevelle would release 2 songs in anticipation for the album, with Rabbit Hole Cowards Part 1 and Jim Jones Cowards Part 2, which, as you have guessed correctly from the title, both of these songs come from the same tree branch, the central themes of which surround the Jonestown Massacre, which of course was a disturbing piece of history. As for the music side, I must say that I preferred the second part of the song, which really hammered the message home they were trying to achieve, with some powerful vocals and drum work. So to address the point that I made earlier, I feel that there is always this preconceived notion amongst Deftones fans that Chevelle seems to be the go-to recommendation when finding a relatable band that sounds similar to them. And I have got to say, I have never seen the parallels between these two bands, and I have no idea why people always made these suggestions. I think that has to do more with their melodies, which are very different within their music, but the biggest factor has to be of course the vocalist Pete, who sings in his own style, and is, to put it bluntly, not Chino. But that's not to the detriment of Chevelle. In fact, it's better to build a career in your own merit rather than ride on the coattails of another, and I recognise that this band has done as much. Now back to the music on this album, and one of the tracks has to be Wolves, Love and Light. This had to be one of the best hooks I've heard in a long time, and I'll admit I had to play this song a few times in a row because it was just that good. That riff is mesmerizing and just hits right. I could see this song going off in a live setting, that's for sure. Also, the outro fake out was really cool twist. It's just a shame that when you have such a banger, it is followed up with a mid-tier song, Karma Goddess, which seems to come across as this Muse sounding knockoff song that doesn't have the interesting guitar solo that comes with Matt Bellamy and his style. It's really unfortunate. It doesn't really live up to the expectations that was set prior. Now, I didn't do any research coming into this album, but it is abundantly obvious the longer I listened to it, this was a concept record, and the concept was certainly a dark piece of history, but done with enough credence that the message could be multifaceted, and I'll leave you to your imaginations to lead you down whichever rabbit hole you may think this can apply to. I guess after listening to this album, I have a newfound respect for this band and definitely view them in a brighter light, rather than just some band that gets mentioned in Deftones' Facebook pages. I can certainly understand the love and respect these guys have earned amongst the fanbase. However, I still cannot say they won me over completely with this release, and this is more due to the vocals of their styles, which I find rather annoying on playthroughs personally. Sorry guys, I did give it a shot, and I'll admit there are some really awesome and epic songs here, but even for a short 35-minute runtime, it's the part of the album that really drains me, and that's entirely my own personal preferences. Overall, I'm going to give this album a score of 7.5 million chilies on the spicy scale, with my favourite tracks being Wolves, Jim Jones, and Shocked at the End of the World. Speaking as an outsider looking in, I think this is a really solid album, and personally, I wouldn't skip any tracks on a playthrough. In fact, I have actually added a couple of these songs to certain playlists, and maybe even keep an eye out for the end of year list as to best songs of this year. I am just not sure when I would return to this album, and unfortunately, it is going to be overshadowed in a week's time. Still, thank you for the music, Chevelle. I believe your fanbase has another album they will be eagerly playing for a long time to come. Anyway, tell me your thoughts below in the comment section or your favourite track off this album, and as always, stay spicy out there. If you've enjoyed this content, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to us, and stay notified for future music related content because it keeps our manager happy at the end of the day. We are also on Discord, Instagram, Facebook, and all those other social platforms if you want to check us out. As always, people, you have a great day and stay spicy.